Hello guys, since some of you already maybe have seen some of the videos I uploaded on my YouTube channel, you know that I've been building quads, helis, planes, whatever. So this was and it is still a challenge for me. It's something funny that I find still as a hobby, but sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't work well, because there are a big variety of combination of parts that you can choose for your quad, hexa, octocopter, whatever. So you basically cannot tell which is the perfect combination. This is why I thought, okay, let me see a proven product that actually is tested and assembled together. I work in automotive industry, and this stage where you validate, it's the PV, the product validation. So basically this is what DJI or other ready-to-fly producer does. They have a bundle, they choose the parts, make them work together, validate, sell the end product. So again, maybe you've seen a lot of this kind of unboxings. On top of the unboxing, I'll try to compare it with micro quad, 250 class quad, and 650 class quad, just for reference. So nothing interesting here, you've seen it. I got it from Austria. As you can see here, it says keine Rücknahme bei Zerstörung Siegel. So it's basically a seal, and it says if you break it, you will not be able to return it. So this is standard box packaging. You've seen it already, so it's the part number, the codes, the specification of the product. Again, on this other end it's a bit beaten. Okay, here it's a DJI logo, and on the bottom there is nothing really. So first time also will be for me to see what's inside. So let's cut the seal open. Okay, finally, so I don't need the knife anymore. Okay, let's open the box. Okay, the manual that I've seen in all unboxings, so I've seen quite a few, so I know what should be inside. So this is the manual. Okay, we keep it attached and just release it. Okay, this is the toy, because compared to other quads, it really looks like a toy. Yeah, you already know the props. If you've seen it, here should be the props. I'll have to see if I can find on the market maybe some better version with carbon fiber, or have to see. But so far this should work. I don't know why this is taped here. So basically the new ones are with some seal. The one that was tested with, it's without any kind of seal. Of course, because the quad has 4 props, the front ones turn towards inside, the back one turns again towards inside, so you have clockwise and counterclockwise direction, so you need to follow the colors, black and silver, to match what you have here. So props, 8 pieces, so basically 2 sets. You have it here. Let's see the remote. So this is the remote from DJI. You have the tablet holder, which should work in several ways, like this, vertically and horizontally. I don't know how, but I'll have to figure it out. It's not a big deal. For whom flew on this kind of things, it's simple: throttle up, down, yaw, left, right, and elevator and aileron. Okay, so this is the remote. Okay, let's turn it back. You have 2 antennas, you have all the dials, controls here. USB for charging and micro USB to connect. Programmable keys, sorry. So this is the remote. Yeah, the quad itself we look just in a few seconds. This is the protection for the gimbal, which I don't know why it fell off. Okay. Additionally, these are the accessories. This should be some gimbal supports, some foam pads for the bottom. This one I think is to hold the motors and screw the prop. And these are also some gimbal savers. And here should be the charger. And your USB cable to connect the device for live view to the camera. And this is normally a charger which has two functions: one to charge the battery on your radio, and the second one to charge the LiPo, the battery itself. So okay, let's see this. The quad, it's a bit heavy, so I guess the LiPo is inserted. So yeah, feels a bit heavy. I expect it to be a bit lighter. So these are the very expensive $139 around about dollars for each LiPo. So you push once, you have the status, so it's like storage mode, it's almost depleted. Yeah, so I think all of you know already how these things are built, what they are doing. I can just observe very quickly that the winding of the motor, I kind of like it's quite precise. So compared to other Chinese do-it-yourself quads, it looks much better. So main feature of this quad is the 3D gimbal, which you see here, and the sonar plus the video positioning system, which helps in the position hold where you don't have any GPS signal like indoor flight, for example. Antennas are in the arms, so to have a better viewing. As you can see, it's vertical, so being vertical, it's not good to go with the antennas like that. So you should be somehow aligned with the arms of the quad, vertical or quite vertical. So this is the DJI. I cannot say that it doesn't look a bit like a toy. So being used to quads made of fiber, carbon fiber, G10, like the Flip Fpv, I think this one looks a bit plasticky to my taste. As you can see, the advanced logo, USB connection, the gimbal feels quite smooth here. The card is already in, and basically you see through this gimbal. So if you guys expect FPV racing feeling, it will not work. It's all stabilized and plushed. Okay, and as I promised, also a little size comparison. Smallest quad I have is the tiny Cheerson CX10. As you can see, it's about the size of a motor, quite small. Okay, then maybe if you some of you have for example 250 racers. Okay, now mine is a bit under repair. I had some issue with it, so just to see, it's quite the size of the Phantom, so it's not much smaller. So this is a 250 HMR carbon fiber quad. As you can see, it doesn't look like a toy. The props are carbon fiber, also the frame is carbon fiber, and it was assembled by myself with a C3D board. It's quite fast if you want it, or slow if you want it also. So this is the Phantom versus a 250 size quad. Not a bit of a difference. Now my biggest quad which I have in my fleet, let's say it's my Taranis 650 quad. As you can see, it's much bigger. It has a normal gimbal, FPV gear, GPS, whatever. So if you look closely, you can see that almost the propeller itself, it's a 12-inch prop, is as big as the distance between the motors themselves. So you can see here, sorry, it's too big. Yeah, so the distance between motors is smaller than the length of the prop. So yeah, it's quite big. Or other way around, the Phantom it's quite small. So yeah, the comparison is not quite relevant. There are different class quads. This, like I said, spins 12-inch props in my setup, but there are guys using 15, 16, 17-inch prop and really low KV motors on 4, 5, 6S setup for like 30 minutes flight time with quite some payload, bigger gimbal for GoPro. But again, this video is just to show shortly a comparison in size between these two quadcopters. So yeah, this is it. Again, I will load the battery, try a bit on the sim. I read shortly the tutorials from DJI. Basically should be really easy to learn how to fly. Just keep in mind that before any flight you should always calibrate the compass. I've read this is the reason for a lot of flyaways on this kind of quads. So don't forget to do that before every flight. Since we are comparing things, just shortly let me show you this radio from DJI. Okay, and let's compare it to my Taranis, which is, let's say, my best radio, and that has telemetry, RSSI, voice, menu, and everything you want. So from my side, I think the Taranis looks much more professional. It has a lot of programmable features, buttons, dials, and yeah, as you can see, it was set up on my other quad 450 class, my Flip Fpv. You have adjustments, dials, everything is shown visually, everything is programmable, logos and so on. So yes, it's a good ready to fly bundle, but I think that if you have time and patience, also building this kind of quads really open your eyes to really how things are supposed to work, and if you have any technical issues, you'll be able to debug and fix your thing much easier than, for example, opening the board it's all built in on the Phantom, and it would be much easier to work on this one that you do it yourself. Yeah, basically DIY. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll follow up with some flight and impressions regarding how this thing goes. Thanks for watching. Ciao.